Welcome back, friends, to the Castro Valley News live show. We are here in episode 27, I think, and it's been a rip-roaring fun time for me learning the ropes doing this live thing, and I hope everyone's doing well. Hope everyone's safe and healthy. Before we get into the show here, let me let you know that this episode is brought to you by Habitat for Humanity. And if you are ready to get rid of your old mattress, you can recycle it at the Habitat for Humanity Restore in Oakland. And every mattress dropped off receives $3 cash or $5 in-store credit. And your mattress gets recycled with Bye Bye Mattress. You've probably seen their ads all over the place. They do a lot of good work getting a lot of mattresses off the streets. And the materials from these mattresses that you bring in, they get turned into hundreds of new products. And in return, you can use your cash or in-store credit towards any number of household items at the Restore, and you also support Habitat for Humanity's mission to build affordable housing in the Bay Area. Limits do apply. Visit bayarearestores.org for full details. And the Restore is located in Oakland. The address is 9235 San Leandro Street. That is in Oakland. And their phone number is 510-777-1447. I give you that one more time. 510-777-1447. And they are open Tuesday through Friday, 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. Saturday, 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. as well. And again, if you have an old mattress you're looking to get rid of, you can turn it into cash or store credit at the Habitat for Humanity Restore in Oakland. Great program. Let's get those mattresses off the streets. I was just on Castro Valley Boulevard earlier today, and there's two of them that have been on the sidewalk for a couple days by, I think the nearest cross street is Forest Avenue. So especially in this day and age with the shelter in place, there's a lot more illegal dumping happening in public on our streets, and it's not cool. So this gives you opportunity. If you have an old mattress, give them a look-see. You can get $3 credit. $3 cash or $5 store credit at the Habitat for Humanity Restore in Oakland. We will post the information to the Restore in the thread for your reference. Real fast, I want to thank everyone who sent in emails to receive copies of the newest Castro Valley News magazine that came out last Thursday. Due to the shelter in place, our drop spots were somewhat limited because I keep saying and it's frustrating. Bear with me, guys. I'm gonna not do that anymore. I just did it. That's hilarious. But getting back on topic, the newest magazine came out. Want to thank, there were almost 40 people who requested free magazines. We may be leaning more towards the home delivery in the future due to the shelter in place. But yeah, thank you guys for sending in your emails and requesting the magazines. And thank you if you are a business owner out there listening. Thank you for allowing us to leave our magazines in your business for customers to pick up. Thank you, Tony Gemignani, for agreeing to do the interview. If you haven't seen it, we did an interview with Tony, kind of catching up and getting up to speed with what he's doing. And we asked some Castro Valley specific questions that were interesting. It's interesting to hear some of Tony's memories of Castro Valley and some other things about Castro Valley. So if you didn't see it, check out a business that's open. And unfortunately, it might be a little bit difficult to find a business that's open, but hopefully it's not. Hopefully we have more businesses open than not at this point during the shelter in place. But getting back to the magazine, if you hit up a local business, I left them at as many businesses in town that are open. So they may be gone. It seemed to be a fairly popular edition. But I wanted to take a moment to thank the advertisers in the magazine who made the magazine possible. That is Pete's Hardware. And you know Pete's Hardware, you know where they're at, but I'll give you their address, 2569 Castro Valley Boulevard. Phone number is 510-581-7633. If you're looking to improve your house or you've got a project that you're working on, Pete's is the place to go to. You guys know that already. I'm preaching to the choir. Also want to thank Leslie Peterson team, the Evolve Real Estate team. Their phone number is 510-697-1208. You can look them up online, www.evolvereca.com. They are real estate professionals. If you're looking to buy or sell, they can help you on either end of the spectrum there. Also want to thank Daily Dose Plant-Based Health. New store in Castro Valley. They are in the Adobe Center, and their address is 3024 Castro Valley Boulevard, and they are where Valley Vape Club used to be in the Adobe Center. I think they're 2 doors down from Little Caesars, more than a couple doors from, there's Dampa that's in there. Dampa got some magazines. Adobe Center, Daily Dose. Also want to, well, that's it for their advertisers. Annette is asking, did you leave them at the Eden Medical Arts building on Lake Chabot? I don't know what the Eden Medical Arts building is on Lake Chabot. We left some at the Doolittle, which is, if it's the building I think you're mentioning, the Doolittle is kind of next door to them. We did leave some at, is it the Eden Medical building where Sazio's used to be there? We did leave some there. There's also some at Dino's, which is in that same neck of the woods. But again, thank you to everyone who sent in an email requesting the magazine. Those went out this Monday. I believe it was Monday. It was Monday. And like I said, the magazine was delivered to as many businesses as we could get to during the shelter in place. And there's someone who's on the thread who received some copies, and that's Don over at One Bad Apple. Hey, Don, how are you, sir? I'm just looking at Ray Bennett gave us a thumbs up. How you doing, Ray? William McCaig, what's up, party people? How you doing, William? Jason Carmichael said 7. I don't know what that means. Oh, there you go. Yeah, Daily Dose is next to Blenzers. So, with that said, we got a couple minutes before our guest comes on tonight, and we'll find out who the guest is when he appears. Yeah, there was a post that that went on the page regarding the young men on the bicycles, and I wanted to mention that very briefly because it got a lot of attention, and I think it was posted on another page on Facebook as well, and we posted something about it before. I reached out to local law enforcement, and they are aware of it, and they are they're monitoring. That's all I can say, I guess, at this point. I don't want to let the cat out of the bag, but they're on top of it, and we may discuss this topic in a few minutes when our guest comes on, because we'll be talking about all sorts of things in Castro Valley. Yeah, thanks again. Not that he's listening, but maybe he is. Thanks again to Tony Gemignani for agreeing to do that interview. It really made for a nice, um, a great page one story, and he had a lot of great things to say about Castro Valley. It sounds like he's got a lot of got a lot of love for our town still. But as you know, Tony is even when he was in Castro Valley, he was just doing big things, and super nice guy. He was always doing things for Castro Valley behind the scenes, supporting little league teams, and just a really cool guy. Met him a couple times when he was here. He did a children's book before Paisanos closed in Castro Valley, and I think I've got it somewhere. And it's just a fun book. He's also fairly recently did I think he did I think it's called the Pizza Bible, or that's what it's called. But you've seen him probably on Rachel Ray and all over the place, and he's doing stuff in I think he's got a bunch of places in Reno, I think. And of course, his places in San Francisco are just amazing. Couldn't have happened to a better guy. So if anybody has a question they want to throw out there, you can text it in. We've got a couple minutes before our guest rings in. You can text me at 510-331-9112, or you can post your comment on the thread. Ray is asking, what does it cost to be a sponsor? If you would like to be a Ray, give us a email, castrovalleytelevision@gmail.com. One more time, castrovalleytelevision@gmail.com, and we will give you all of the sponsorship information for both our magazine and the show here. If you own a business, we'd love to work with you and do some advertising with you. Don is saying he's taking a shot every time I say 7. I don't think I said 7. Somebody else said 7. Anyways, we've got a couple more minutes before our guest rings in. Oh, we posted we posted the link to Don's shop, which is at One Bad Apple. Don is an awesome guy. He's a local dude. I've known Don for a lot of years. He's got a huge heart. He cares a lot about Castro Valley. Can't say enough about Don. I met Don when I worked at the library a long time ago. And so again, if you have a question, we're inching close. And well, we are where our guest is calling in. Hey, Chet.
Hello there. Hello.
So the cat's out of the bag. Mr. Chet Wehe is our guest tonight. Thank you for coming on the show, sir.
Oh, thanks for having me. I'm glad to be back.
I'm glad you're back. Let's get right into it. What did you want to talk about?
Oh, there was a couple of things that I had on my mind. You know, when we first started talking about tonight, the first question is always, well, what are we going to talk about?
Exactly.
And as the day goes on, things always happen where it becomes insanely obvious what we should talk about.
Exactly. So, go for it.
So, first of all, we have Alameda County considering opening indoor dining at quarter capacity.
Yep. We are at the red level now, and I don't know. I'm not sure what the differentiation between the colors is, but we moved up a level. We're doing something good.
Yeah, which is a relief, to be honest with you.
It is.
After such a long time of not being able to progress through the systems and going backwards.
Yeah.
I'm excited. I'm relieved. I wouldn't say excited.
We've been in this a half year.
We've been in this a long time.
Yeah. I love how the tone. It's been.
I mean, our whole lives have changed this year.
Yes.
And
in so many ways.
Yeah, in so many ways. And we're looking for, people are looking for a little bit of normalcy. I sure am.
Me too. Me as well.
I was just at Safeway this afternoon. Sidetrack, little diversion, you know me. I was just at Safeway this afternoon, and I was just thinking how much I miss seeing people's faces.
Totally.
You know, in the
Smiles.
Yeah.
It hurts. You still there? I think we lost Chet. I see that. Are you there, Chet? I can't hear you, Chet. Chet's going to call back. I think our call just dropped. Sorry, guys. But yeah, totally. Chet was mentioning something. You can't see people's faces, and I was talking to someone the other day too. You can't really see when people are smiling. I mean, you can kind of tell when the mask raises that people are smiling, but it's really it's not the same. And it is. It's hard to not see people's faces. Here we go. Chet's back. Hey, sir.
I'm back. I apologize.
No worries. Stuff happens.
So, where exactly did I lose people? I was talking about coming back towards normalcy.
You were talking about not seeing people's faces, and then when the call dropped, I blathered on not seeing people's faces for a second. But
yes. So the people, just not seeing people's faces, and I think there's a lot of different aspects of things that people are looking forward to having back to normal. And we may not be able to see everybody's faces until there's a widespread vaccine or people have access to a vaccine. But being able to eat inside and being able to do other things in the meantime is positive, and it gives people hope, which I think a lot of people also need right now.
Even the baby steps are huge.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, definitely.
So from what I heard, the status of being in red allows for the 25% occupancy at indoor restaurants, and I think there's some sort of consideration with schools potentially doing some in-class instruction, but I guess the county is going to digest this. Alameda County is going to digest this and then look at numbers and then come back with some sort of order in a week or two or something like that.
Yeah. So indoor. This tier down is from the state,
right?
And then the Alameda County has to approve or allow the actual restrictions being lifted,
right?
Given our history, we were the only, or given the past, we were the only ones that didn't have indoor hair salons and all that stuff. So I think Alameda County is being a little more conservative with reopening. So just because the state has allowed us to open, or tier up, or whatever you want to call it,
it doesn't mean that the county is going to follow.
We're going to.
Yeah. Hopefully, particularly for the sake of the restaurants, hopefully that can happen.
Absolutely.
Yeah, but I think I mention this every week. I do see the outdoor dining is just popping. It's busy at a lot of places, and that's great.
Absolutely. absolutely. We ate out at Boulevard Burger, my family, this past weekend, and it was so nice just to be able to get out of the house for a little bit and go sit with the sit somewhere else.
Yeah,
so,
totally.
I've been enjoying that, and we've also been enjoying bringing food back home sometimes.
Doing takeout,
just for the sake of being home. Yeah.
What's your favorite takeout place in town?
We've hit a lot of places. We live near Rite Aid, and the two Thai places at the end of Norbridge and CVB there are definitely some of our top places. We love the Boulevard Burger, and we've done iSushi a number of times. And then we've gone over the hill a couple times. We've gone out to Hayward a couple times.
Mm.
Whatever the wife is feeling, she has priority in her life.
Happy wife, happy life.
Happy wife, happy life. Yes.
What spots in Hayward have you guys been at or done takeout from?
There's the eatery, the craft eatery. They were in a very awkward place on Foothill, a very awkward shopping center. You kind of see it from the front, but you wear them back. But we've been super happy with them. It's kind of an interesting Asian Western fusion. Like they have we always get a burger that has like a teriyaki barbecue sauce. It's quite good. And if you go there, if we're talking about restaurants, if you go there, you have to get crispy green bean fries.
What kind of fries?
Green bean fries.
Ooh, those sound good. Explain.
They are legendary. Yes.
Give me more detail. I'm interested.
It's a French fried green bean.
Wow. Okay.
And yeah, they're crispy on the outside, tender on the inside. I don't know. This is not a food show, but you got to talk to Igor about that.
We need to get Igor involved. I've been reaching out to Igor numerous times. He's interested, but I think he's got concerns about the pandemic and all that. And I understand that.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah. Everybody's taken this. A different level of severity, and as long as we're all being smart, I think we're on the right track. Even if when I go out for a walk, I might not wear a mask, but I'm going to stay away from people.
Yeah.
And it's I can't stress enough common sense.
Totally. Yeah. And people hopefully are going to be more kind to each other, especially during this time.
Yes. I hope people are being kind.
It's important.
So, let's see. What else are we going to talk about? I wanted to talk about Tony Gemignani for just a hot second. Have you already mentioned him?
I mentioned that he was on page 1 of our magazine. He was wonderfully gracious enough to answer some questions, and he's a solid guy. I love that guy. I miss him.
So we've talked about him in the starts of Castro Valley TV when we were still doing documentary style videos. I was editing every night till late at night, and all the good old days. But I follow him on Instagram because I enjoy home cooking, and I enjoy cooking pizza at home. I have a wood-fired pizza oven as part of my smoker setup. But he was just live on Instagram doing a scratch-made margarita pizza, and I was just so, I don't know, he piqued my interest. I loved his delivery. I loved the way he was talking about it. You could tell he knew what he was talking about. Obviously, the dude's a Guinness Book of World Records holder and owns 20 some odd restaurants.
He's a natural. He's a natural. He always has been.
But I was just happy to see a Castro Valley native doing his thing. Growing his reach far beyond Castro Valley.
Yeah, totally, and it all could not happen to a nicer guy, and that's
absolutely
that's the truth. Yeah, I mean
absolutely
he did not want paisanos to he did not want to leave Castro Valley, and that's a different story because he wanted that wood burning oven, and there were
yes he did.
At the time, there were county regulations that prohibited it, and we lost out big time.
Do you know if those county regulations have been lifted or changed?
I do not know. I would assume so because I think there are locations in town that have wood burning ovens for pizza. So I would assume they have changed, but at the time it was yeah.
Yeah, and I think there were some hard feelings about how Paisanos closed.
Oh yeah, and that had nothing to do with Tony. Tony was long gone by that time. That was someone else who kind of
definitely.
Yeah.
I was just thinking that I wish it could come back.
Well, you have to read the article because that was a question I asked him, and he answered it.
I will have to get a.
I'll bring you one.
Copy of the article for that for sure.
I'll drop one off for you tomorrow.
Oh, I appreciate that.
Oh, no problem. Yes, Tony. Yeah. I wish well, of course, the entire restaurant game has completely changed now because of the shelter in place.
Yeah.
So I can't imagine anyone would want to open a restaurant at this time, but they have. Some have. Ono Hawaiian opened on a couple weeks ago. Well, maybe a month ago.
Yeah.
But they were in the works before the shelter in place happened. But
yeah, I have a good friend of mine from high school who has been working in a bakery in Berkeley for years and managing it, and the owner retired and turned the ownership over to her. You're right in the middle of this thing.
Wow. And also, the plans have been put in motion for the brew pub to open. And I can't think. Beer Baron, right?
Oh yeah, Beer Baron and Spanky's, and I saw another one about the one in the marketplace.
Okay.
Is that Cannery?
Yes. Yeah. I think.
Let's see here. I'm looking it up.
But lots of positive feedback about the Beer Baron.
Yeah. Very close to opening as of September 14th.
Oh, cool. Right
so,
on. I think this comes up every episode. That whole downtown area is just popping. It's great.
It's great. It's really come a long way. It's really come a long way.
It used to be kind of the dead zone of Castro Valley, but now between the marketplace, the Dollar Tree, and the May Market, I finally said it correctly. It's that whole
the village has just improved also.
Yeah. Now that Ray Talbot is open, some other stores are open back up. Don Jose's is doing the outdoor dining. I gotta say, I was super impressed as soon as they set up that gigantic canopy. They're killing it with the outdoor dining there at Don Jose's.
Yeah, and JP's also has a big outdoor dining setup.
They're packed, nonstop. They are just packed because they're good people and they have good food. And Norman's Grill is as well.
Yes, They still are having old cars drive in, I believe.
Nice. Doug's.
So I'm reading this more on the cannery here, and they're saying on September 14th they said 4 to 6 weeks out.
Okay. That's
so
close.
Beginning to middle of October, and they have also put more information on their Facebook page.
Nice. And actually, Igor did a review of their location when they used to be over on Foothill and Hayward. Just a stone's throw out of Castro Valley. And from what I recall, the review was rather good. I mean, the food was good. I don't remember. Oh, it was a long time ago, but it's the same folks. I think they closed that location and moved. They're here now, which is cool.
I remember when they were first talking about opening in the. I remember they were first talking about opening in the marketplace. They were saying that they were established elsewhere and are moving into Castro Valley, or they have restaurant experience. So it's not totally new, and they already do have a following.
Yeah, a pretty sizable following, from what I understand.
Definitely. People in the comments are liking Beer Baron as well.
Yes. Yeah.
With just going into the old Spankies. Many fond memories of my early 20s at Spankies with my good friends from high school. But not. I mean, it's always sad to see business closed, but I'm excited to see that space be improved.
Definitely.
With Beer Baron.
Yeah, I've heard nothing but good things about them, and if that location is going to look anything like their other locations, it's going to be a grand slam.
Oh, absolutely.
I hope they can.
Good beer, good people.
Yeah, they have good food. I hope they can manage to maybe have some sort of outdoor dining area, because I think that's kind of their staple at other locations.
Mm-hmm.
So I hope they can manage that here, and hopefully the powers that be with the county will allow that to happen. I mean, wow. I mean, that's going to be nothing but good for the hair salon across the street. It'll probably be great. Well, there's a hair salon right next door. Shoot, for the theater too.
Yeah.
It's kind of a no-brainer. You go get maybe a beer and a meal, and then go see a movie, or see a movie and then go get a beer and a meal over at Beer Baron. And
sounds like a great first date.
It's perfect.
For those of you who are looking for a first date.
Exactly.
Wink, nudge, nudge, say no more.
Say no more. And I've been in contact via email with one of the owners, and he sounds like a super nice guy.
Awesome.
Yeah, I sent him an email just saying, hey, heard about your coming here. Welcome to our town. And the email back was like, wow, how cool that you reached out. And I sent him a link to the post that went nuts. And he was just, hey, we're super excited to be in your town, and good stuff.
Definitely.
Hey, something last week that I totally missed was actually the 5-year anniversary of the passing of Dub.
Passing of, sorry, saying it.
Of Dub.
Oh.
Nicholas Whitaker.
Yeah.
It was September 17th. It was last Thursday. I totally missed it, because I usually like to put something out there, because that dude was all heart.
So, for those of you who don't know, Nick Whitaker was the leadership and activities director at Castro Valley High School for a number of years. He was very young and passed away from cancer. A very short but valiant battle with cancer, from what I understand.
Yep.
And he was one of those teachers that you hear people talk about for their whole lives, and he was one of the ones that changed lives. He related to kids at Castro Valley High School like very few could do. And he changed lives.
Was he one of your teachers?
I worked with him doing AV stuff.
Okay.
He became the leadership director after I graduated.
Okay.
But I still had involvement for years after my graduation with AV stuff at CVHS. So I worked with him on that front. But yeah, that and so I was just gonna say, you hope that when you have one of those teachers that you have the ability to connect with them past your interaction as a professional student-teacher leadership, or student-teacher interaction, relationship, whatever. But unfortunately, that is not the case with this fine young gentleman.
Yeah.
And I have a picture of Whitaker I took at graduation. I was shooting graduation for you, I think.
Yeah.
And I got that picture of him with the green and gold mohawk, with that big old smile on his face.
Yep.
With his arms up. And that's kind of been my one viral photo.
That's the same photo that I've shared. I share that photo for the past couple years.
Yeah, it captures him beautifully.
It does.
And I'm not saying that just as the photographer who shot it. I'm talking about it
as a human
friend and colleague too.
Yeah. Yep. I remember. Oh, it was 5-6 years ago. When the newspaper laid me off, I saw Nick at Pete's Coffee, and I had kind of known him from a couple stories that I did, so I wasn't super close with him, but he comes right up to me and he puts his hand on my shoulder and he goes, "Dude, do you need anything?" And I go, "Huh?" And he goes, No, I heard what happened. Can I do anything for you? Do you need anything? And I was like,
That's Dub.
Yeah, that's Dub. It just blew me away. And it's, people who do things like that leave an indelible mark on your life. And if that's how he was just off me getting laid off from a job, I can only imagine he was just stellar as an administrator and a teacher. And that's what I've heard. That's what I've heard from everyone.
Yep, that's 100% accurate.
Yeah. I still have a pink bracelet that they were giving out. Those rubber bracelets.
Oh yeah.
I've still got one of those.
Those strong bracelets.
Yeah. So I wanted to apologize that I usually every year I share your photo. And, people post their memories, but I totally missed it last Thursday. But that was...
Well, we could do a post belated Dub Day.
Totally. We should have a Dub Day.
Definitely.
He's one of those guys you will never hear anything bad about.
No, I don't think so. So
was there anything?
What else you got?
Sorry.
Oh, I got something.
How about it?
This is a poll to the 18 of 20 of you listening right now. There were some active commenters in the group or in the comment section, but also here's a quandary for you, and this may totally get lost in me saying it, but is it okay when you're shopping and you are going to pick out eggs, is it okay to make change if you find a broken egg in your egg carton? Is it okay to go and swap another good egg from another carton that may have other bad eggs in it? Or do you just keep searching for one with 100% good eggs in it?
I would keep searching.
You keep searching?
I would keep searching.
Okay. I'm interested to see what other people think or say. After the fourth or fifth carton, I ended up making change into one that
okay.
I took from one that was way worse off than the one that I had. They were, but I needed my eggs, and I was tired
of broken eggs all over the place.
Schlepping eggs, no to another part. Okay, so
Schlepping eggs.
Yeah.
That's gonna be the name of my new rock band, Schlepping Eggs.
Keep looking. Okay, well,
I've never
oddball that makes change in the offering platter. No,
I can totally understand if you went through 5 cartons that you would want to change out, but I've never gone through 5. I think maybe like 2 has been the tops, but
oh man, well, I guess I get really fragile eggs. I try to go for the brown eggs. I think they taste better. But,
yeah.
But
I'm surprised you don't have chickens to get your own eggs.
That is you're gonna have to take that up with my wife. I've requested that to be a thing, but we don't have a ton of space with the
oh right, yeah.
With the backyard and the dog and the child on the way, so our backyard is still under construction, but there are no immediate plans for chicken coops.
Gotcha. And you're working on your shop too, so that's taking up some other space elsewhere.
My quarantine has basically been hopping from project to project, and I think a lot of people have been that way also.
Yeah, totally. I mean, Pete's Hardware is just packed all the time, which is
Yeah.
good. Which is good. They just, people are focusing on things that are constructive and mentally positive in some way, keeping themselves occupied. Just as an aside, Bob, Annette, and Don all agree they keep searching. Get another carton, keep looking, keep searching. So,
but my friend Mattila says just simply swap a good egg.
Okay. I missed her comment. So, I agree with you. If I had gone through 5 cartons, I would do some swapping.
Yeah.
I got a story that I think people might want to react to, and I would like to hear your reaction to.
Okay.
So it seems the morning time out on the bicycle during the ride is when the most amount of interesting things seem to happen. So I was out the other day, and I'm over on Redwood, and I'm approaching where the overpass is near the storage place.
Okay.
And I see a car turn into the storage place, and it's a gentleman in the car. And when I'm on my bike, I have my mask on because I don't know if I'm going to stop and talk to someone, and I don't want to have to reach to my backpack and find the mask. Long story, I'm trying to be considerate and keep my germs from other people if I have the COVID germs.
Right.
So the guy stops in the car, and I was pushing the button to go across the intersection, and I hear him saying, "Hey, I got a question for you." And I go, "Sure, what you got?" And he says, "Notice you got your mask on a bike." And I said, "Yeah, I'm just trying to do my part." And he said, "Well, the question I got for you is really thought-provoking." And I go, "Okay, lay it on me." And he goes, "With everybody wearing masks, do you wonder why there's not more bank robberies?" And my reaction was, well, I don't know. That might be a good question for law enforcement. It's not something that I've ever thought about. And the response was, there's a lot of sheeple who are just following orders. And at that point, the universe was gracious enough to give me the green light to go, and I said, "Thank you, and have a good day." And I could tell that you're stunned, because I kind of was stunned too.
Yeah, I've heard conversations like that in closed areas and among small groups of people that may feel similarly, but I can't say that I've heard that.
I've never thought it.
By somebody pulling over to seek somebody out.
Because I was on a bicycle riding with a mask on, which you and I talked about that before. It just makes your lungs stronger. At this point, it's like second nature riding a bike, and I go fast. But doing it through a T-shirt with a blue shop towel inside, because I don't have access to the N95s. That even the fact that other people wearing masks or coverings, I've never thought, well, does this mean that bank robberies are up or down, or it just, I don't know.
Yeah.
And it's a hot button issue.
Go ahead. Sorry, finish your.
No. The mask thing is a hot button issue, and I don't want to be divisive with anyone else, but it seemed like a candidate for a hilarious question of the year.
Yeah, I mean, I have not heard about an increase in bank robberies. I also think that the banks are aware of this, and the Wells Fargo I go to is limiting the amount of people that are inside at one time, and I think if you're going to rob a bank, you're going to do it whether or not he's wearing a face covering or I don't think this changed people's opinion. I think maybe some smaller convenience stores may be at increased risk. I think it may be harder to find people that are caught on security cameras. I think there's other things that I would think about before jumping to the conclusion that bank robberies have increased because people are wearing face coverings. I
agree wholeheartedly.
And I'm not the biggest fan of the mask stuff. We've talked about that in the past.
Yeah.
I'm all about being respectful of other people. If my company and my family wants me to wear a mask and I'm staying safe, by all means, I'm gonna do the thing that affects other people.
Yeah.
That affects other people the most positively.
And I was reluctant to mention it, but I wanted to get your feedback and other people's feedback as well. But there's nobody said anything about it. But it just, he felt compelled to stop, and I actually do see other bicyclists with coverings. So I don't know how unique one weird looking guy on a bike with a mask is, but I know it's a hot button issue. I don't want to be divisive, because everybody's got to do whatever like you said, what they feel is comfortable for themselves and do right by themselves. But
yeah, and I have friends in other states who are like really not wearing a mask, and they seem to be okay. Their communities seem to be doing okay. There are a lot fewer people in southern Missouri than there are out here in the Bay Area, where we have everybody and their mother living and working in tech and whatever. My sister is a nurse in Ohio, and she graduated earlier this year and just passed her RN exam. And shortly after her exam, she called my dad and said, "Hey, I don't feel so good." And my dad said, "What are you talking about?" She said, I just don't feel good. I'm coughing a little." And he said, if you still feel bad in a day and a half, he said, you go and get a test right away. Call your supervisor and tell him you're not coming in. Sure enough, she had the corona.
Wow. Is she doing okay now?
Yeah, she's back at work now. She's still fighting, some lingering symptoms, but she's tested negative, and we don't. The one thing that somebody has mentioned recently is, we don't know the long-lasting effect of this disease.
Right.
Like, these people could have a recurrence in 5-10 years or whatever. I'm not a medical professional, but I've heard people talking about that recently. Like, people that have have had COVID and people that have had COVID, we don't, and recovered, we don't know what this may open them up to in the future.
Yeah.
So we obviously hope that that's not a thing, and we hope that's not a thing with the vaccine also. We hope that in 5 years it's not going to be like, well, everybody that got the coronavirus vaccine has now grown a third eyeball.
Yeah.
Just throwing that out there.
No. I mean, because it's true. There's so much that we just don't know.
And I've been following or not super closely, but I've been hearing about it from close friends and family and stuff, because we're in the situation of pregnancy and coronavirus.
Yeah.
And at first, when the first studies were coming in, they were saying that it's just like you may get a low birth weight, or you may have a premature baby or a smaller baby, just because of not directly related to COVID, but how your body reacts, may go into labor earlier or whatever. That was kind of the first thing from China, and now I'm hearing from somebody who's more involved in the pregnancy standpoint than I am, and they're saying that now they're linking it to more severe birth defects and problems during pregnancy. So
have you?
Sorry, say again.
No. Have you changed your activity or your the precautions you take because your wife is pregnant?
I am more careful than I think I would be otherwise.
Okay.
I think I would be taking this with a little bit more of a grain of salt. I'm not going to say I'm going to be running around without a mask on, telling people that they're sheep and stopping them on the bike. But I think I may be a little more willing to go visit with friends or go see family or stuff like that. But that's been far more limited this time because of what we're going through.
So you're being more mindful of other people having masks on and paying more attention to the 6 foot distance?
Yeah, I'd say more masks than the 6 foot distance. If I need to squeeze by somebody at the grocery store, I'm going to squeeze by them if we're both wearing masks. That's fine.
Yeah.
But and my job requires that I wear a mask, and I told my supervisor, I said, if I'm on a route by myself, I said I'm not going to wear a mask. I'm by myself on a route.
Makes sense.
I'm sweating. I can't see. My sunglasses are fogging up because
you're up there working.
The other person I'm hearing is in my earpiece, and he goes, "That sounds good to me."
Yeah.
But, obviously when meeting with clients and stuff like that, I've been ultra careful.
Yeah. And you are an essential worker, so you're going to work every day, correct?
Yeah. I have not necessarily been in the office, but I've been in the field, and our company services medical offices and laboratories and essential businesses, so we are therefore an essential business also.
Yeah. Hey, before we close this out, can you tell me the story about your family on the property on where you're at? I love hearing that story. It's amazing.
Oh, yeah. So we're near Rite Aid, like I was saying.
Your family's been there forever. I love it.
Yeah. So I've grown up here my whole life. My dad moved up from Long Beach, and his dad and his grandfather bought the property that we have, that my parents live on, my wife and I rent a house from. The property was bought when Castro Valley was all chicken farms and apricot trees. And Lucille Lorge and the old museum that was up for a while, the pop-up museum that was up for a while, all of those pictures look like my old family albums, I think my grandfather or great-grandfather bought this 1-acre parcel of land in 1929, I believe we've seen paperwork from. And I help manage it. I'm in charge of all the repairs, do the landscaping and stuff, and my dad kind of does more of the business side of stuff. But we have rental units, and they were built we have 4 and 4, and 4 of them are solid all old redwood siding, and redwood construction, built way overbuilt. They're just old houses in Castro Valley, and they're built in ways that you don't see anymore. And it's interesting. Every time I refurbish something or have to repair or replace something, it's like I cut this old fence post down off this back porch of one of the units, and it was solid old growth redwood. I mean, it was beautiful.
Wow.
It was covered in paint. It was rotten on an end, but I couldn't throw it away. I saved it. I'll build a table or something out of it,
Yeah.
But oh man, it's like watching a time, opening a time capsule anytime you crawl into a house. And then there's the back. We have four houses in the back of the property that are solid prefab concrete, and I mean solid prefab concrete. The pitch of the roof is prefab concrete. The subfloor is prefab concrete that are suspended between the foundation.
Wow.
And my grandfather had those built in the early 70s, and there was a struggling contractor in San Leandro that his whole business plan was part of this, or was to build these prefab houses, and we were his experiment. He went out of business shortly after he built our houses, and now we have questions whether, how good they will last long term.
But the main house was built in the 20s?
No, so the main house was built in 48. I think the property was bought in the late 20s.
And did it have...
the redwood houses were built in the late 40s, early 50s.
Okay.
And then the concrete houses were built in the early 70s.
Gotcha. I love that story. I love hearing that.
Yeah, and my grandmother passed away in 2009, and we cleaned out some old slides from her garage, and they were just old pictures of the front of the property. You can look down Forest Avenue and look down towards the boulevard, look and see old Marshall Elementary School, and just an old time, very old time Castro Valley photos, and they're cool that we still have them preserved. So
yeah,
I actually have to scan them in to the computer. I don't think I got around to that. I have a film scanner set up for a while, but it's been cool. It was great experience, being able to grow up here in a place with family history, and then taking on more of a role in it, and having repair capabilities, a few pieces of history, and we just repaired part of our driveway last week, one of the long driveway, and I chipped out a jackhammer. I chipped out probably 5 or 6 layers of concrete and asphalt, and my dad was there with me watching, and he was like, that dirt probably hasn't seen the light of day since this place It's, oh, yeah, it's true. You know, taking up time capsule.
I'd love to see those pictures sometime.
Yeah, I gotta dig them up. You know, I will. We'll get there.
Awesome. Well, we've been at this about an hour, and I thank you for your time, Chet. It's always a pleasure to have you on here, and hopefully this thing will end soon, and we can hang out, have coffee or something, and catch up.
Absolutely, we need to do it. We need to definitely do it. We'll have. You know what we should have? I'm gonna put you on the spot. We need to have another one of our original Castro Valley TV coffee hours. We'll go hang out at Rumi.
Yeah.
You, me, and maybe Jan will be up for it. And come get a coffee on us. We'll put up some money and come get a coffee on us and say hi and talk about Castro Valley.
That's a great idea. Let's talk more about that.
I'm totally down.
All right, I am too. Let's figure it out. Thank you for your time, brother. I appreciate it.
And thank you for your time. Thank you, Castro Valley, for listening. My screen froze up here, so I can't see how many of you are listening. But thank you for joining in. And we'll see you next time, and maybe we'll have some more exciting developments in
the ongoing
way
saga.
we live and the current time that we're living in.
Definitely. Thank you, sir. Have a good evening.
Thank you. You also. Take care, everybody. Thank you so much for your time, for watching. Stay safe. Have fun. Be kind to one another. Until next time. Take care.
Well said. Take care, Chet.
Bye-bye.
Well, there you go, folks. Thank you, Chet, for tuning in. Thank you for everyone who's on the chat with questions. Bob, Don, Annette, if I missed your name, I apologize. We are doing this every Tuesday at 7 p.m. We'll be back next week with I know who this guest is, and I think this is a cool story. You will not want to miss this coming up next week. Thanks again, Chet. Appreciate your time. Thanks again to everyone who tuned in and posted questions and comments. And I don't want to skip the question about the bowling alley. I don't know when the bowling alley is going to open. Hopefully, we will we'll move to a different tier in the shelter-in-place regulation levels, and bowling alleys will be able to open. In addition to gyms, because I hear a lot of people wondering when the gyms will open. So thanks again, everyone. With that said, we'll see you next Tuesday at 7 p.m. And when the going gets weird, the weird turn pro. Stay safe, everyone. Be good to yourselves. Be good to your neighbors. Take care.